Two planes there. They were very close. They seem to have moved apart a little bit now. Let's see what they are, if they're military or what. Can't see. Two together, been trailing. So who are they? Will they be on flight radar? No, of course not. They're not on flight radar. Blue circles where we are. There are no pair of planes. So I'd suggest that they must be military. They're extremely close together, that's why I came running up from the garden to have a look at these. They look pretty small. Cannot make positive ID. There's two planes. Yeah. Left those chemtrails there. You can see where the trails have narrowed off to a point, i.e. whatever makes these ice crystals, whether it's ionization, whether it's lasers, or stimulating the particles in the fuel, or whether it's or the exhaust plume, or whether it's actually all chemicals sprayed into the exhaust plume, something's tapered off there and stopped. There are different methods that we've come across, have been investigated over the years. And as we look around here, basically all this cloud material in the sky has evolved from contrails left by aircraft. Every single cloud formation that's visible has come from planes. That's your source of your climate change issues, your weather and climate modification. Inadvertent weather modification. It's real, it's denied. We've got frequency patterns in the sky there. I've been watching it all day. Frequencies all day long, and contrails or chemtrails have been filling the sky with these ice crystals. And you can see how close those two planes were. They really did catch my eye. It was unusual. They must have been military. But they've sprayed as well, so pretty much virtually all planes. I've seen the technical details for drones to be spraying for cloud seeding purposes, which obviously could actually be accurately described as contrails, since contrails are used for cirrus cloud seeding. That was discussed back in the 60s and the 70s, and quite clearly they've moved on a long way. They were also experimenting in the 20s, in the 1920s, my friends, with titanium tetrachloride to understand the turbulence and the way that smoke puffs will expand in the sky, i.e. what contrails will do in the sky. Now some of you may think I've made a leap there, but actually no, there's a great deal of supporting evidence to demonstrate a very clear linear line of investigation going from the late 1800s right through to current day about spraying particles into the atmosphere in order to develop the techniques necessary for weather and climate modification. And I believe it is very straightforward. Once you are familiar with the research that our governments are working together to control the weather and climate, they are selling us a complete fabrication and lie about anthropogenic global warming. There has been a long-term strategic ozone depletion program, to deliberately intensify the heat of the sun and give everyone the impression we've got global warming. And basically there's a massive cloud regulation program going on where they're sometimes spraying carbon black to heat up the clouds and change the air pressures. They're using metallic particles in their exhaust plumes, which can be stimulated with electromagnetic frequency as described by J.J. Thomson back in 1910. And we've got instances of patents from 1905 from Oliver Joseph Lodge. These are members, eminent members of the Royal Society, obviously deceased now. And in 1905 the patent was for directing energy into the atmosphere, negative energy, negative electrical energy, to create precipitation and increase clouds, and positive energy to dissipate clouds. And that was understood by the leading scientists of the day over 100 years ago. Well, they've been developing that technology, and of course moving on to what HAARP was all about. And even the leading doctors, researchers in HAARP have said that the US Navy and Air Force have completed their experiments learning how to control the ionosphere. And this is part of the climate engineering programs, using the electrical energy that's in our atmosphere. They've learnt how to trigger it and to use it, and quite clearly we can see the visible signatures, the gravitational waves, and the various frequency patterns, which were now so stark, which were completely unfamiliar just a few years ago. Because this program is moving forward in incremental stages, various stages, as they learn how they can manipulate the climate more surreptitiously. They're becoming far more subtle. There are less of the huge contrail grids that we used to see, and the EMF frequencies we do see in the sky are often shorter lived than they were just a few years ago, as they've learnt to tweak the minimum amount of stimulation in order to get their desired effects. There's no question about it. We are being lied to by conniving governments that have lied to us for generations, working towards their plans of the New World Order. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work, because this all works for them by deception. So I urge everybody to do as much research as they can, using verifiable research and information, credible information, and tell as many people as you possibly can. Let's wake them up and let's challenge and contest this criminal elites governments, which are nothing more than a management team for these criminal elites. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.